And again, we did 21 cases in the last 3 days. And again, we had 100% success using 2 needle knives, which brings it down to less than 10%. That's what we've been saying. Okay. So before we go into the certificate distribution thing, I'm grateful, Khalid Saab, you are here. Khalid Mahmood Saab heads Getz Pharma. A lot of us use medicines from Getz Pharma. Getz Pharma has supported us, as I was telling you before. Khalid Saab has always been very supportive, although Getz has nothing to do with endoscopy directly, but still he has been forthcoming. When I told him this is what we do and our aim is to actually train people and pass on whatever we know or the knowledge that we have. And so I'm grateful to Getz and Khalid Saab yourself especially for supporting us. It was nice to have you, for you to see actually what we do. 3 days is very tough. I'll be honest with you, for the faculty. It's very tough for me, especially. I will have to say this because from 8 in the morning, I don't finish till midnight. Okay, so every day. And it continues this time for 6 days. So it's tough. But it's all rewarding when we see people like yourself coming, showing your interest and hopefully learning. And that's what this is all about. This is about passing whatever we know to you and hope that you take it to the next generation. Okay? So now it remains for me, Sajda, unless I'm just going to take a little quick feedback from the hands-on people first to tell us you don't have to praise, you can be critical. Okay, we have no issues with that. We do this honestly with all dedication and commitment, but we have our shortcomings and we understand. So if there is anything you want to criticize, please feel free to do that. Okay, so we'll start with Dr. Numan.
Thank you for giving us a chance to go through this very lovely course. I have been through 3 courses in UK similar to this. Foundation, upper GI, colonoscopy, 4, training the trainers, colonoscopist course, and a therapeutic endoscopy course as well. And the quality of teaching and the quality of feedback is at par to that level. So that is very, very good.
Thank you very much. Really.
The only thing I can say, which I touched upon briefly today, was that if you can also incorporate a little bit more about how, and that can be done even case by case as well in a formal way, would be to how to do reporting in a standardized manner. Because that is a problem we all know our colleagues have around the country and around the city as well. And that can only improve if you can catch the trainees at the right time and the right frame of mind, so that they can then go and do a proper reporting.
Okay. So in our course, as you see, we actually show you how we report. Obviously, it's about having some sort of a computer program. Everything should be recorded. How do you report? We've also given you a gist of the reasons why you're doing it, what you have achieved, what you were not able to achieve or you did not selectively do, and towards the end, what were the therapeutic actions you took, and plan in case you fail or plan in case you find something that needs further. So that's the general gist, and we hope the reason why we show you our report is that just to give you a broader perspective of how it should be done. Whether you have the same system or a different system, principles should be the same. And the more information you give, especially in where histopathology input is concerned, or where sometimes the radiologists have to give input, the better it is. So the more you write, it doesn't go to waste quite often, obviously. But we touched on it. We'll take your suggestion and try and put in a little bit more. And what we will do is next time we'll actually maybe for each case we'll say this is the report we have generated.
Yeah.
That's what we'll incorporate next time. Thank you. Dr. Zabula?
It was an excellent short, we call short course. I have learnt about much about this ERCP cannulation techniques and my scope positioning, and I have learnt about my mistakes which I was doing before coming here. That's all I want to say, and I want to build up my procedure levels with further training.
Okay. Dr. Dilaram? So,
It was a wonderful workshop, sir. We are thankful to you, and we learned a lot from this workshop. I myself improved my scope handling, my cannulation, and sphincterotomy, and balloon sweeping. Overall, we improve our endoscopic learning from this workshop.
so the reason why you came, you somehow or the other you feel that it was worthwhile coming and your objectives were achieved?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And we are thankful to you.
Again, thankful to the whole faculty. I think it's a great job from each and everyone coming from different parts of the world. I was taught a lot of things, especially knowing my limitations, understanding what the benchmarks are, and understanding what the ideals are, what is the scope of practice in the USA, what we can do here, and what should be done with the patient. Of course, practice is the best. We know all that. And ERCP is all about, balancing the skill and art, which has actually very well been demonstrated by all of the faculty. We've had a very good, vast diversity of cases in which all different techniques of cannulation, pre-guard, double wire, stent, the PD, all of them were shown. So I'm grateful that we were exposed to everything. Few things, I was thinking that in the next course could be incorporated is maybe what you can do is the candidates should be asked to write whatever they did, what should be reported, and they should write down in the end that this is reported and give it to the supervisor whether it is right or wrong, and the supervisor could actually make amendments and omitments to that. Okay, this report should be like, okay, I found an ampulla which was like this, as compared to what should be mentioned, the diverticulum
Excellent
was
idea.
such. And they could just write it like they're giving the feedback, and the report could be edited by the supervisor, and then they could learn how to describe the things better.
Excellent idea, Sajda. So we'll incorporate that from next time. All those candidates who come, they will be reporting it, and the report can then go on to the before the next case. The report will be there for everybody to see.
And
Done.
finally, one comment. I thought I would miss Dr. Vakar, but the team was so humorous that I think Dr. Vakar was not mismatched this time.
No. I will talk about that.
Can you send him the message? So he can show up around here.
Yeah, he probably is. No, I would say I'd give my view about that. So, Dr. Yazdani has come from Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much giving me a chance to attend this very valuable course. Actually, it was the first ERCP course ever I have done, and I found it very, very useful, particularly how to handle the ERCP scope and how easily go through the different difficulties during the procedure, and everyone has given very patient and very valuable experience teaching to us, and I'm sure it will help me a lot when I will go back to my hospital, and I will try to do the RCP in this way, and I have been given chance.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the best to all of you. Dr. Abdullah is an observer here.
Well, it was really nice. For many, they would say that just observing would add to nothing, but that is contrary here. I learned many of the things that are not present in the books, that are not present in the YouTube, that are not evident on attending the conferences, that how these little things, I mean, help you out in difficult cannulation, for example. So it was really worth even observing.
Thank you. And now, may I request my friends on the left side to just say a few words and tell us how they felt, except for the tiredness and fatigue that is not because of us, that's because of the traveling.
So, firstly, obviously, I'd like to thank Dr. Saad Niaz for giving me the opportunity to come here. Just for background, last year I contacted Dr. Khalid and I said, I'm really interested in knowing how ERCP is developing in Pakistan. So I'm coming for a national meeting, so who's the person to go to in Karachi to observe? And he said there's only one person in Karachi. And he said it so happens that we're doing a course before the meeting, and I'll be there, so why don't you come as a guest? So then that's how Dr. Saad and I got in touch, and the love and affection that he showed me last year led to him not only inviting me to this course this year, but last year, within a month, he invited me to a second course as well. So I think it just shows the mindset and the generosity and the kindness that he has as an individual, and by extension, Dr. Sajda, Dr. Shahryar, and the entire team have. So that aside, I think what the value of this teaching for the candidates in terms of one-on-one teaching in a system where they do not have formal fellowships like we do in the United States. We have a one-year fellowship where the fellows works morning to night with different people doing just EUS ERCP procedures. We don't have that set up in Pakistan. So in that environment, I think in this kind of environment, these kind of opportunities are so valuable for people to see and learn from experts like Dr. Saad and Dr. Khalid, and then basically being able to take those skills back to their home institutions and applying them. And then for us as faculty, even though we consider ourselves to be reasonably good at doing what we do, it humbles us, because we get into situations where we find that this cannulation is tougher, and we have each other's help to help us. So we learn from each other, and it also makes us, as living abroad, appreciate the effort that goes in making ERCP successful with the limited resources that are available here. I am embarrassed to share the number of scopes and the equipment that we have in my single institution compared to what you have, and with the quality of work that you're doing, it's really remarkable. So overall, for me, it was a very, very nice, enjoyable experience working with colleagues who are like-minded, as well as working with juniors who are so talented and dedicated and so respectful. So with that, I'll pass it to Dr. Khalid.
So I totally agree with you. So for me, especially, I think maybe I figured it out. It was 6 years ago, I think, something like that. We were fighting. When did I start that? So every year I look forward to this time, and this is a treat for me, even though it's tiring. But I really enjoy when I have to come over here. When I look back at our unit, where we have the best equipment, it's the state-of-art equipment, every support we have, and I look at the care we provide over there, and then I compare that with the care which is provided in this unit with limited resources, thanks to some donors who are able to help. And I really don't see any difference, to be honest with you, in the quality of care. And and that's what makes me, it's not generous, it's the truth. And that really makes me, and I feel so good about that, coming here, and whatever I have learned, I feel like, we all feel like, that this is our responsibility to pass it on to our next generation, because 20 years from now, maybe Dr. Saad earlier than that, may need a ERCP themselves or may need a US themselves. So if we don't pass it on, who is going to do that? And this country gave us everything. And we are not here, so this is a way to pay something back. And for you guys, when we are training, we may get upset. He may get upset. We are fine, both of them, usually. So, no, that's just a jokes aside. But when we are teaching, when you teach somebody, you're standing behind. The only thing what is in your mind is the patient needs to be safe, okay? And consider that that's your sister, consider that's your mother, your brother, your relative. And if somebody else is teaching some student on that, your relative, how much you would want them to give opportunity to the trainee. So if we say, okay, no, calm down, don't push the cannula, okay, no, I gotta take over, that's not bad on your part. It's because we think what's better and good for the patient. So that's the reason we take the scope. Not that you are bad, not that at that point we feel like I think it's time to get the case done, take care of the patient. So don't feel bad if we are saying, if the voice gets loud or if we say something, that's not bad on your part, okay? So all the whatever criticize, it's really not a criticism. It's just to make you feel, make you better endoscopist. Okay, that's pretty much it, really. And thank you so much, sir. And especially those were really, really wonderful cases. And even. No, we need to thank everybody. It's not just. But it starts from the bottom all the way, the whole leadership, the whole team. Like, even though you probably tried to keep all the easy cases, and that's the purpose of the course. But the cases, they had every papilla you have pretty much seen. You have seen an ampullary mass, you have an angry papilla facing away from you, you have seen angry duodenum. So everything you have seen, so it can't get better than that. And not that was done purposefully, it happened to be so because people who are arranging that, they have a good intention. So when you have a good intention, Allah will help you. Okay, so, and thank you so much for
this. Look, this surely was a dream. When we started this unit 13 years ago, when advanced endoscopy was started here, this was not part of the dream. The idea was to be able to do these procedures for those who can't afford. It wasn't available. And you know, when, like you said, when the intent was purely to help those, it was nothing else. And first of all, Sayyid Qureshi's vision, who's really a visionary person. He can make things happen, and that's a very special quality that Saeed has, and you have to give him credit for that. When he approached me, I'm a difficult person, and I admit that. And I told him, I said, look, I will come, but no interference, no other nonsense, and I need what I need to do this. And this is 13th year. And not one session can I say that he had not, we have not had anything that we wanted. We have been supported ably by the government, first of all. Sindh government has been very supportive with the equipment, the civil hospital, accessories, as they saw us produce. Today, this is a special year. We decided first, 5,000 would be a good number. And then, we said we'll go out and tell everybody what we have achieved, inshallah, when we achieve 10,000 ERCPs. The rest of the procedures we didn't bother. So this is our special year where we've actually passed 10,000 procedures, and now I think we've done 10,700 something or 800, I don't know. So that was a special. So that is why this year, for the first time, you're going to hear about us going out and saying what we have achieved and who has supported us. So the government of Sindh, we've had very good families, philanthropists in this city who've come across. The EUS is by donation, Spyglass is by donation, some of the scopes that we have are by donation. Even the salaries that we have for our techs, we can't pay them. These techs are A+ by any standard, all of them. And commitment is also A+. And you know, in this country, you don't see it that often. So for me now to say, to start saying thank you, I will start by saying thank you first to my colleagues. Traveling from San Francisco and from Florida, coming in straight, literally, and spending their time giving 110% of what they have. I think, you know, total dedication and commitment with no fringes attached to it. We don't give them anything except for travel. So they have whatever, you know, it's not easy. Going to States is a nightmare. Coming back in 3 days or 6 days, it's really difficult. So thank you, Khalid, for being with us for 6 years. And without you, I may say, no matter what we would have done, our course would not have been the same. Okay, so you bring the star thing to our course. Mustafa, we only met last year, and he is part of our faculty. And these, I mean, I'm proud of these Pakistani brothers living in United States who have this feeling to come and actually physically give it. They not only help in terms of teaching, they bring in new techniques, they bring in new procedures, and so there is a lot that has changed. Endoscopic ultrasound would not have been possible in Karachi of the standard we have, and I can probably say this, that we have one of the best in the country. He is the best man. He is the man who's responsible for our EUS program, and he is my teacher. Okay. And so thank you. I will not forget Dr. Vakar, who actually with me started this ERCP course and colonoscopy, and we both go back to UK. And he shared this vision with me, and obviously without him, we sadly miss him today. His presence brought a different dimension with his character, and you know, some of the remarks and comments he used to give. So I'm sure he will be back with us next year, and we'll have a very strong faculty coming from 3 continents, Europe, UK, US, and of course Pakistan. So, and then I have to thank my 2 colleagues here, Professor, I find so odd, Professor Sajda Qureshi. She suddenly starts looking old. When we started, she was assistant professor. Still is very young, but she was a young little girl who wanted to do ERCP, and today she's a very accomplished ERCPist. She was just only telling me the other day at one of the other places that they had tried to do an ERCP and they couldn't do, and I think they did twice attempted, and she just went and she said, "Sir, I went in and I just did it." And I said, not surprised. So, and much under-recognized because they just keep working for working. And again, Professor Shahryar, who's not here, but who's behind our reporting and a lot of things that you see in the unit, maintenance, management, day-to-day running, everything is done by him. I have to thank my technicians, absolutely A-class technicians, starting from our manager Wasim to everybody. They're all absolutely fantastic, and I can tell you, for them I can surely say they are world-class. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I certainly don't think faculty के बारे में मैं कहूँगा हमारी यहाँ की, लेकिन certainly techs. What about the cases? You know, to do 21 cases in 3 days, we have to admit patients, we have to screen them, we need to screen them for their difficulty depending on what we find. So most of the cases, as you see, were stones, and it's not easy. And it's a pretty long activity which is done. and managed by all the juniors, led by the seniors here. And hats off to all the juniors who've been involved in this course. Like before, absolutely A class. Selection of patients was better than everything else, okay? And the management, and the way you turned around, and the description and everything else was fantastic, first class. So really, really grateful, really grateful for all the efforts you've made, and I'm so happy that it all turned out to be successful, but we still have 3 more days to go, just a reminder. So, and then I have to thank everybody else in Surgical 4, who, from the janitorial staff to everybody who maintains the unit. We are in civil hospital. Inside we don't feel like we are in civil hospital, but outside it's different. Those who have just walked in, they would agree with me. Last but not the least, I need to thank the anesthesia department, which supported us to make sure that our patients were safe and that we could actually do these procedures without hindering their lives or jeopardizing anything for them, and also having them stable to be able to teach you guys. I need to thank Gates Pharma. I need to thank Feroz Sons, Boston Olympus, and I also need to thank our video team, which has become part of us. And I am sure you would agree that the transmission was very good. Yeah.
Keeps improving every year.
Yeah. So I'm very happy. This time, the first time we had a live transmission on Facebook, and that was taken care of by a pharmaceutical company called Wilson. So I'm thankful to them for doing that. And the transmission again was pretty good. I saw it afterwards, and it's also available to go back and see. So you can actually go and see how good or bad you did.
That's for you guys.
So now I think we are done with thanking everybody. We start again tomorrow with the US. And before I say just a couple of things I wanted to say about the course, some of the comments that I've had about giving more cases. It's just not possible. Extending days, it's just not possible. As much as you would want, we would like to have it for a year, but I'm sorry, it's not really possible. The fundamentals are given in 4 cases that you all had each, and you had experience with each one of us. So I think this is giving you foundation. I'm responding to some of the comments that were received. Can we give more time to you to play with in terms of cannulation? Khalid has already answered that. And so overall, I think the reporting comment is very good. And food, usually we get a comment on food and we ignore that. Sajda, for her to come and give the certificates, and after the certificates we'll have a group photo. Khalid Saab, this is your first time seeing ERCP, so if you want to say something, please.
Well, I'm quite touched. I often say that the easiest thing to donate is to write a check, but the most difficult thing to donate is your personal time. And I think that's where the rubber meets the road, and that's what you all are doing. It's really very, very touching, heartening to see that you're taking your valuable time out, and doctors make as much money as pharmaceutical companies do. So of course you are sacrificing a lot, pardon that comment, but nevertheless, I think on a serious note, for you to take so much time to come here, and most doctors I know in the US, I have a number of friends, I lived there for 15 years that I know, they like to go to Europe for vacation or somewhere else, and you guys are actually teaching in a civil hospital in Karachi. There cannot be better education, better spend of time. This is really a visionary thing that Dr. Saad and Dr. Said Qureshi, who is no doubt really a visionary person. We all know what he has, how he has turned around when he was MS of this hospital, and were just very cool-headed and very simple in a very honest way. So it's a great thing. I'm really touched, and it's been going on for so long. It's for 10 years, right? 7 years now, yes. And so it's very sustainable. It's added so much value, and I thank everybody. So everybody's here. So thank you.
And thank you for your support. Thank you.
Just one last thing I remembered because of Khalid and Mustafa's comment. The units are absolutely, I have not seen Mustafa's, but I have seen Khalid's unit, and every time I go there, I'm kind of in clouds somewhere, you know, whatever it's called. And it's just looking at the facility just makes you want to work. And when I bring them here, I keep, now they're used to it, but when I first time bring them here, I'm saying, oh my God, you know what? It's a very small place. I don't even know what they feel, what their feelings were when they were coming first time. Khalid, you know, maybe they'll have scopes, what kind of scopes, etc. But really, it's not easy to come to a different unit and to work with equipment and sometimes accessories that obviously you have much better access to. And so that obviously is very difficult, and despite all that, obviously it's their class that actually has no effect on their success. So that shows how good these people are. So there's a lot we all learn from. And I'll tell you one thing, last thing, what these two said, for me, these 7 years I've learned tremendously myself. A lot of things that I was doing, maybe I wasn't aware of, and now I understand better. So it's observers learn no less.
So now before we start the last session, that's certificate distribution, I would request all of you to give a big round of applause for our technicians who are here. Okay, now we'll start with the hands-on. All of you have to come. Okay, may I request Dr. Khalid Sahab, and Dr. Mustafa and Dr. Saad to play. You were doctor, okay? You have to select between the two. So may I please request 4 of you to please be here? Come on, Dr. Saad. Hello. हो रहा है बस ठीक है हो रहा है तो हो रहा है डॉक्टर अच्छा वो खूबसूरत लगने के लिए ओके we will give him time. We'll give him time. Dr. Mustafa, Dr. Khalid said something. Okay. So first of all, Dr. Atif Majid. Come on, clapping, guys. What did he do? What did he do? What did he do?
That's between me and him.
But now I know too.
Dr. Noman Zakir.
Didn't realize Numan was a house officer here in Surgical 4.
I didn't realize he was my class fellow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Dilaram Khan. Dr. Zabiullah Rahmani. Dr. Abdullah bin Khalid. Dr. Ghulam Yazdani. Now our volunteers, Dr. Noorul Ain Chishti. Good job, Noor. Sayyid Ali Haider Rizvi. Dr. Yumna Safdar. Dr. Aisha Noman. Aisha is a house surgeon. So anesthesia team, they have left? They're not here? Okay. So now our technical staff, Mohammed Wasim.
Paul.
Paul.
His name is Mohammed Wasim Paul.
ये बेचारा काम कर करके कमजोर हो
कमजोर हो गया अकरम रहमत Eric James. Ahad Ansari. Osmani. Tahira. Mohammad Baksh. Suleiman Samuel.
Suleiman is actually from Liaquat National Hospital. He's been here with us for some time for the EUS scope because they've just bought it, so he's working on that.
Staff Shahnaz. Is she there? No? Mohammad Zubair.
Mohammed Zubair. Good Zubair. He's a man who looks after all the...
Janet.
Janet
Who looks after
is Paul's
Janet.
wife. So,
Zubair Ali.
we usually in the colonoscopy course, they actually have a skit afterwards. And it's about Paul and his wife Janet. So Wasim is Paul and he becomes Janet and they usually have. And it's, the
Hilarious.
first one was unbelievable.
It was hilarious. Muhammad Shoaib Domki. Zakir Ali.
Maulana Zakir ye rahe.
Anthony. Anthony.
Anthony, you come here.
अंदर से घुसो ये करीब था मोहम्मद आमिर आमिर अभी तो यहीं पे था कहाँ गया सगीर अहमद
आ जाओ सभी. So his efforts make sure that we know we are awake. Yeah. Yeah.
Habib Baloch.
Habib Baloch.
Lakshmi. Lakshmi is here? No. Afaq. Who's Afaq?
Babulal.
Babulal.
Babulal is the man who drives everybody nuts.
Yeah.
All the writing and the communication and everything else is done by, so secretarial work.
Thank you.
Okay, now may I request Mr. Khalid to present a memento of thanks to Dr. Mustafa Arain. साथ साथ ही काम हिलना नहीं पड़ेगा मैंने देख के किया है Now, can I request Dr. Sadnias to present a memento to Dr. Khalid?
Not Khalid Sahab.
No.
अगर दो होंगे तो yes, नहीं तो नहीं.
वो है ही नहीं, बने ही नहीं है.
तो फिर खत्म.
No, no, we have to. We
No,
have
no.
to.
This
वो
is
Khalid
for.
साहब is
I know.
Khalid साहब is
I know. This is for. Let me tell you. Just wait a minute. Oh, Sajda Qureshi.
No, no, this is Sadnias.
This is for Sajda Qureshi.
No, 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 this is Dr. Sadnias. May I request you to present this to Dr.
Sajda, I have told you this is. Oh, अगर next time हुआ ना तो तुम लोगों को मत डालो. Thank you guys.
Now the last thing is a group photograph. May I request all the hands-on and observers to please come here for a group photo.
खुद अपनी खुशी लाता है